Hi guys, it's me, Trilinda, and it is a Monday night. Let's see, it is about 7:29, and I've done a few videos, but I don't think I've actually given you sort of how my caregiving journey started. So I thought maybe we would start there tonight. I was living in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, and I live with my wife. And my mom was here in Oklahoma, and she was retired, but she was pretty much okay, doing her thing and would come and visit. And she had a couple of falls, and my aunt and uncle, her brother and his wife, had taken care of her several times. And she fell again and hurt her shoulder. And I was working from home in Delaware. And so I was like, this is silly. I mean, I feel bad for my aunt and uncle because they've been taking care of her. So I was like, I can go there for a few months because I work from home. So that's what I did. So I flew to Oklahoma and I came to be with her for a little bit, and I worked from home. And she was still very independent at that point. She was able to put her clothes on and go to the bathroom and feed herself and all of that kind of stuff. And that's sort of how it started. So I would come here and stay like 3 months, and then I would go back home and stay for like 3 months. And I was kind of doing that kind of 3-month situation. I think this was like maybe 2017. And I saw a few things, but I wasn't really sure. I will tell you that she used to take Ambien every night. And I knew that was a bad thing, at least in my opinion. I'm certainly not a doctor, but in my opinion, that was not a good thing for her. And I felt like that was part of the reason that she had fallen, because she thought she could take a half an Ambien and then wake up to go to the bathroom. I don't think that's really how it's supposed to work, but I don't know. I've never taken it. But anyway, that's another video. I was here on and off. And then when COVID hit in 2020, I was here and got stuck. And so I was here full time for over a year during the COVID thing. And that was kind of scary because obviously at that point she wasn't as mobile as she had been, although she still was mobile. She still did everything. I started to see some changes. And like one of the things I can remember is I was in the other room and I went into her bedroom, and she had taken every single piece of clothing from her closet and laid it on her bed. And I was like, what are you doing? Are you straightening up your closet? And it was I didn't do that kind of thing. And so that was kind of weird because I think that was one of the first times that she had done something like that. So that kind of confused me a little bit. And of course, I'm the one that had to put all of her clothes back in the closet. And so that's sort of where that started. By the end of that year, I knew, and I mean, we had gone on doctor's visits and stuff, and I always mentioned to the doctor that I said, I know my mother. We've had a close relationship my whole life, and there's something not right about her brain. There's something not right. But he just, I don't know, he just sort of dismissed it. So at some point, I'm not even sure if he gave us the referral, but at some point we got a referral to a neuropsychologist, which I didn't even know there was such a, and that took like 9 months, I think, before we even got the call for that, and I'd already forgotten about it. So I took her to that, and it was a matter of the doctor saying, okay, you leave, and then we're going to do some tests. And it was basically some cognitive tests, that kind of thing. I'm not exactly sure, but based on that doctor said that she was like at stage 3, basically, of Alzheimer's/dementia. We had switched to a different primary doctor at that point. And so I was talking to her about it, and she saw my mother as her patient. And she recommended hospice. And I was like, what? Because obviously I thought hospice was just for someone that was dying. And she said, well, it is, but it doesn't have to be like they're dying in 2 weeks. So at first I didn't do anything. I didn't do it. I didn't call. I didn't even check into it. So push forward, I think another 9 months, maybe. It could have been a year before I reached out again and said, hey, what do you think? Do you think I should call them? And she said yes. So I called hospice here in Oklahoma, and they sent out somebody to sort of like evaluate the situation. And based on that, and I think there was a social worker or somebody that came out, and anyway, based on that, they put her in hospice. And that being said, obviously she was still here at home, but I was just, you know what, and maybe you feel the same way, I was really concerned about my own privacy, which is selfish maybe, but I was like, oh man, I don't know if I want to have people in the house, and I don't know how that's going to feel or whatever, or how mom's going to feel about it. But I will tell you what, it saved me. It saved my life. Not only is it great in the sense that they can come and they will bathe her, they will change her, they supply pads that you put on your bed, because at this point she doesn't get up and go to the bathroom anymore. So they put the pads down, they supply diapers, they supply wipes, they supply, well, just a lot of stuff. I mean, obviously you can look into it, but they supply a lot of stuff I was buying myself, which is very costly. So that has really, as much as I didn't want to have to do it, it wasn't even so much that I was thinking about hospice, meaning my mom was dying. It was just the fact of that privacy part of my life would be gone with that. And that was on me, not on her at all. But they've really been a godsend, and it's been a great opportunity to meet them. And obviously, I mean, God bless them. I can't even imagine dealing with that kind of thing every single day. And I thank God every day that my mother is like 76 to 80 pounds, because I lift her, you know, I mean, I have to lift her. She is now in a wheelchair. And so I lift her in the morning. I get her up in the morning. I change her and all of that kind of stuff. Lift her up and put her in the wheelchair, take her into the kitchen for breakfast, and then she'll eat her breakfast, and then I'll take her from the kitchen back into the living room, and I have to lift her up and put her in the chair, and then we do the same process through lunch, coming back. She's 90 now, so this process, it used to be 3 meals a day, and now we're about at 2 meals a day. And so anyway, so it's at least 3 different times that I'm having to lift her up and then put her down. And so it's a killer on the back. And I ordered one of those things that you put around your back. It's supposed to be some sort of a brace. I wear it when I remember. And I guess it helps. I don't know if it helps or not. But I do worry about the breakage of me. I'm 63, and I hope to have some good years in front of me. I hope. I don't want my back to be all broken down, right? I don't want to be all broken down by the time I get a chance to live. And I don't say that meaning that I don't enjoy being here with my mom, because I do, and I take every day as a blessing. And even though it's hard, and even though a lot of times we don't even converse because she's in a different world than I am, and I don't know where she is sometimes, and then sometimes I see her. But thank God for at least today, she still knows who I am, and she still knows my name, and I will just take that as a positive sign. But anyway, I just wanted to kind of give you a background on how I started in this journey, like several years ago, almost 10 years ago, I guess. And anyway, if you need encouragement or you have questions, I'm sure there are just so many of us out there right now going through it. And I was looking on to try to get help myself, right? Or to see like-minded people. And mostly what I see are either hospice. There's one hospice nurse that's really good. I'll have to look for her link. And she gives a lot of good advice. But most of it's sort of clinical. I'm just a real person. And I thought maybe we could connect if you are taking care of a loved one, and like me, and maybe it would be a place for you to talk, and it's certainly a place for me to talk. I mean, that's really why I'm doing this. This is a great outlet for me. And if it helps you at all, or makes you laugh, or you can relate, then that's fantastic, and then I will have achieved my goal. So if you have any questions or anything you'd like to know more about, put them in the comments below, and I'll try to address it the next time. But you guys have a fantastic evening, and until we see each other again, good night.